Hey everyone, Market Theory here. Welcome back to the channel and thank you for joining me and spending some time with me today. Today should be able to make you some money. Obviously, everything here is just for fun. So if this stock price prediction is completely wrong, don't sue me, bro. But as always, I'm putting my own money into these stocks whenever I'm suggesting things. So my money's in it. And if your money goes down, my money goes down also. So I'm not trying to screw anyone. But today we got Airbnb. We have a lot of IPOs coming to the market, and Airbnb is just that one that I've researched them all. I mean, DoorDash, a little expensive in my opinion. And then we got Airbnb. And then we also have like Roblox coming in. Those are just some big companies that are coming in hot. But Airbnb is the one that really shines out to me. I am a user of this company. I love this company. And just to show you how streamlined this is and just how simple this is, we're going to pretend like we're going to Miami, right? And just theoretically go on a little vacation here, okay? So if we go on this, if you see here, look how streamlined this is. We could just see the prices, $49 a night, $55 a night, compared to a hotel we all know how much hotels cost. So, if theoretically I go here, look, $49 a night for this little studio. You go there with your wife or whatever. And here we are. We could stay 7 days. Okay, there's a 7-day price. We get $49 times 7 nights, $343 to stay in a place for a full week. We have to pay a cleaning fee and then a service fee. Okay, this is what makes Airbnb the money. This makes the money, and also the whoever the host is has to pay a 3% here. So they make a ton of money here. And then of course there's taxes and fees involved. But we're talking $500 for 7-night stay. So that just shows who would use this business. You get your own space. You don't have to stay at a hotel. You get a nice little room here. But they have everything from big houses to little houses. You could rent an entire home. You can rent just a room in a house and whatnot. But this is a company that is extremely profitable and took a huge hit back here in 2020 for obvious reasons. I think it's pretty obvious to just say okay, this company, you could see that there was strong growth, 17, 18, 19. That's the growth that I'm looking at. I'm ignoring this entirely because obviously people weren't going out during Miss Rona. They were staying around. They were staying at home, rather. And even when they were going on Airbnb, if you read the S10, there's like 100 pages there. I read basically the whole thing. I skimmed through it. And they basically have said all of the stays most of the stays that have been happening have been local stays. So, for example, if you live near the mountains, you just go drive up, rent an Airbnb. That's really what's happening right now. That's the shift for 2020, and that's why there's not as many sales. But going into summer, just like how I like other travel stocks, I think this is a good stock for the summer of 2021, as long as we get that vaccine out. Now, with that being said, I like the outlook of the company. I like everything really there is to like about this company. But as for evaluation, right, we can go on this lovely article written by CNBC here. So their IPO target is around $35 billion, and that would put us at around $44 to $50 per share. This is their expected price. And at this price, I'm at a strong buy right here. I'm gonna load up. I'm gonna load up anything around here. And now I'm not gonna do my whole position here. I think it's good to always lever into your position, dollar cost average into your position. So for me, that number is 50% of my position. I'm very confident at the number of 55 and under as a dollar per share value. If I can get at 55 and under, I'm going to load up 50% of my position or my desired position. So what that basically means, if my target's 3% of my portfolio is to be Airbnb, then I'm going to get 1.5%, for example. But a lot of people have raised questions about this valuation, and that's why I'm not loading the entire thing here, because I could see this drop lower because the evaluation does seem high in some instances. But if we do a full model and model out all of these, I've done all these modelings, and I've been looking at modelings for the past hours here. I've been researching this guy, and the modeling show this thing. I mean, I can't see it not 2xing within the year and a year and a half. So this is my play. This is my long-term play. This is a disruptor in this industry. This is a company that's just taken the hospitality industry by storm. There's really no competitor like it. There's no one that can compete. They are known for that night or that room share type environment where you could rent it out. And they still have a lot of room to grow. They could potentially do a long-term rental. That's what I would think. I mean, you post your house on there and say like minimum 6 months, whatever. Then you can just rent it out and whatnot. But if we look at evaluation, earlier this year, if we look here, the last private evaluation was $18 billion. They had to raise money back here, as it said, after it raised $2 billion in debt earlier this year because they were extremely struggling during the beginning of the pandemic. Obviously, that's expected, but the evaluation in 2017 was 31 billion. This is the valuation that I'm rocking with here because I see the growth numbers that are absolutely incredible. If we look here, extraordinary growth, about $1 billion a year is what we're looking at here, which is obviously very, very attractive. And I honestly think this valuation was just about the uncertainty with the whole pandemic, and that's really what triggered the low valuation. But if we just look at last quarter, this was in the S1 here. They reported a net income of $219 million on $1.34 billion in revenue. This is a pretty low-cost business for them. It's really just software. The only reason they usually don't make money or haven't made money in the past years, if we go all the way down here, operating income, right? They've been losing money, and this because they're really hyper growth that they're going for. In this growth stage, we see all these companies doing it. I mean, Tesla just broke profitability here a few years. They're going to try to get more mature. They're going to have their revenue grow. And once it starts simmering down, that's when they could start spending less, right? Less research and development, less marketing, and so on and so forth. I mean, you could see here, they spent $1.6 billion on marketing and selling. But guys, if we look at the target audience of this, we could really just see where they're going with this. This is really the millennial trap here, the Gen Z trap. And we have to assume that the older folks are gonna start using Airbnbs, hopefully. And that's really just a great experience for retired people. They just have to know what this is. Instead of staying at hotels, just imagine all the things they could see. They could rent out entire homes and basically wherever they want to. They could rent really unique stays. This is something that I've done in the past with the tiki houses. It's really quite interesting, and it's awesome just how you could just get away in a weekend, click buy now, and then you have this little cozy little house for $39 a night. And for me, I see this as a really there's so much growth still in this company of reaching different demographics. We're just touching the surface here. The numbers are insanely good. So anything under a $35 to $40 billion valuation is dirt cheap if we're looking back at this 5 years from now. This is a double, triple stock. This is at least a 3-banger here. Now, here is my main issue here with Airbnb. This is very similar to, say, Uber or Lyft. They just have a lot of legal issues, I guess. You know, Uber, if we look at Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, all those guys, they have the whole issue of force these companies to actually hire these employees as like W-2 workers instead of contractors. And we see some states doing that just to try to get revenue. So obviously we have like California and such here. But here is the main issue here. A lot of states have been somewhat trying to restrict this. I've seen this in big states. I've seen this in Denver, Colorado, and that's the one I really know about. But you're not allowed to rent out short term. So there's no short term rentals. And that's mainly because of the lawmakers here changing all these rules. And a lot of this comes from people just assuming that if it's in a good place, this long-term unit rentals, we're gonna have a shortage of that because these the homeowners or the apartment owners or whatever, the owners of these, they're converting their long-term rentals into these Airbnbs. So for me, those are the main issues. Those are the main concerns. This is my price target. I'm buying heavy, and I think you guys should consider it. Obviously not a financial advisor and not your financial advisor. We are at a strong buy, guys, a strong buy at the initial. I recommend getting your position started right when this IPO starts. We always see IPOs do that little top peak, and then they do a little tumble down. We've seen that previously. I mean, we could look at Snowflake here. They started off at a really high. You know, the first day is all the hype, and then we see a little come down. So these first few days, I mean, just pretend like this is Airbnb. This is when I'm starting my position into like the 50% range. Then we're going to see a hike up and then probably a pullback down. And then it's takeoff. It's time for takeoff, really, with Airbnb. If we just see one good quarter or get some good news with all the vaccinations and all that nonsense, we're going to see this take off, somewhat similar to how Snowflake took off. So guys, I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to get in on some Airbnb. If not, this is just analysis. At least you know more about the business now than when you started this video. I appreciate you all. Remember to get your 4 free stocks with Webull or 10 free dollars with M1 Finance. You can do them both. You'll get 30% minimum return on your investment. So just like that, we got $30 in the bank at least. I appreciate you all for joining me here today. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Happy Sunday.